Hello and welcome to the Final Bell. It's great to have you with us for preliminary final week. We are proudly presented by GMHBA, the official health insurance partner of the Geelong Cats. Meg McDonald is with me again. Meg, this is my favourite day, weekend of
day of the week, doing the pod.
The whole week, everything. Two great games lined up for us. Mm-hmm. I'm pumped. How are you travelling?
Yeah, no, I'm pumped. What a time to be a Cats fan, and I'm going okay. Obviously, I mean, on a personal note, would love to be in the team and part of it, and that's the goal for the weekend. But that aside, you're part of a club who's really going well. I'm interested. I'm sure we'll get to the preview later. The mood around not playing the weekend before in the men's and whether you lose any sense of that momentum. I don't think so. I think I'm up and about the boys, ready to go, pumped for Friday night. And we've started having a few wins and finding some form in the W. So it stands to be an enormous week because, yes, there's prelim, our game Saturday, and then let's not get ahead of ourselves, but Thursday night here into hopefully a granny. It's an exciting 14 days.
It certainly is. We're going to flip things around a little bit differently on the podcast here, obviously with no game to talk about from the weekend from a men's perspective. I want to get to the AFLWs you mentioned in the second segment. We'll get to a few fan questions as well. I thought to kick things off, we might do a little preview. We often do this at the end, but a preview of this Friday night's massive prelim final clash. It had to be Hawthorn, didn't it?
Well, yeah, I suppose it had to be. You're a better place to speak to it than I am. But even as a person who wasn't in footy at the time, that rivalry and that time it stands out in every fan's memory. That the clashes that you guys had with the Hawks, and for it to be renewed again on such a stage is awesome.
Yeah, it really is. And when I look at the top four who are now in the prelim finals, and I think, on form and everything they've done, Hawthorn finished 8th on the home and away ladder, but with that going to that last game, the Brisbane game, up at the Gabba, and they were so close. That was a finals type game. If they'd won that, they were finishing 3rd. Yeah,
I remember a similar thing last year. I think they would have win that Port Adelaide game, and they would have been top 4 as well. So,
they're not way back in the in the back blocks, finishing in 8th. They were right there.
Yeah. How do you? It's constant commentary this time every year. How do you feel about the bye and its impact?
The pre-finals bye.
The pre-finals bye.
I've never been a fan of the pre-finals bye. I feel like I want to keep rolling into the home and away season. I get what it was brought in for. There was that 1 year where there was a whole bunch of players rested because it was a one-off time. Okay, sure, maybe it works for the odd occasion where there's no one can move on the ladder. But the finish to the season we had this year, there was a lot of movement that could still take place. You wouldn't want to slip up and drop a game. So I don't love the pre-finals bye. But I think clubs are now better adapted to how they train through there, the way that the top 4 teams who potentially win a qualifying final, and then we'll have another week off, the way they handle all of that. So
I think that's a positive side. What about the straight sets, the increase in straight sets exits?
Yeah, and maybe, but I think on this occasion, the headline straight sets loss of Adelaide from top spot, the first time a minor premier's done it since 1983, I think it was. That was for other reasons. Yeah. That was not the pre-finals bye. That was, and we won't go into that here, but that just put a massive handbrake on their entire season and obviously had a huge impact. Hawthorn are playing finals, what I call finals type football, brand of football. And the way they started the game on the weekend, and John Newcombe in particular, just that hard, contested, strong, but powerful enough to explode away from a contest, similar to what we've spoken about with Geelong against the Brisbane Lions in the qualifying final. Hard, brutal, tough football, then turning into highly efficient, explosive football that kicks goals. John Newcombe, as we now preview Friday night, he's been superb in this final series, a terrific player. He's built for finals. I'm just assuming Oisin Mullen gets a role like he did on Hugh McCluggage. Do you see it that way? It's not like for like McCluggage and Newcombe types of players, but it still makes sense to me.
It makes sense. I mean, what would it feel like to be the man? Like in every finals you played, you're the top-rated player on the ground. It's unbelievable. And you look at him and you see what you're saying, quite literally built for finals, and obviously built for finals above the shoulders as well. I'm I asked this question when I was sitting at the W game to Hock. Is it Osh? You can't deny his ability to get that job done against a multitude of different types of players. To the eye, Newcombe looks significantly bigger than those players and more cylindrical. Like, definitely hard to get around. Now, Osh is a unit in his own right. I wonder if the reach of a Mark O'Connor in terms of getting around that body is applicable as well. If we had Reece in, you'd say Blitz just goes and does it.
The other thing, for sheer joy of somebody who loves the contest as much as we do, Meg, would be to simply place a ball equidistance between John Newcombe and Tom Atkins.
Yes, I know.
And say, go and hunt that, boys.
Yes.
It'd be good to watch.
It would be unreal to watch. I thought you were going to wonder at whether the skipper starts in the middle again and whether that impacts at least the centre bounce nature of it. But I mean, love him as we do. I don't know that Danger's going to forego attacking a loose ball in favour of...
No, nor should he, because he's never been able to play that
guy.
That defensive type role, and you play to the player's strengths. Yeah. But you're right, there is the old thing, if we've got the footy, they don't. So Dangerfield hunting a ground ball in a centre clearance and he wins it and kicks it our way, it means John Newcombe hasn't hunted the ground ball and won it and kicked it their way.
Totally. What do you think? So you think Osh?
I think Osh, just because I see his power, and yes, there might be a moment of a real genuine inside ball where Newcombe's size and that strength through the core that you're talking about might be in Newcombe's favour, but everywhere else I think then Osh can match him. But that when we're talking real coalface ball, it won't just be Newcombe v Mullen. Yes. It'll be Atkins coming in and hunting as well. There'll be a second body in there from Geelong. There'll probably be a second body in there from the Hawks as well, which is probably Warple, who was terrific on Friday night as well. So
Newcombe's going to know that someone's coming to him. So what does he do? Do you think he just goes, all right, 1v1, or does he try and create does he go and stand on someone else? Or
I think he's probably, I'll continue to play my way and do what I've done best for the team in the final series so far. It'll be fascinating because then there's the flow-on effect. So the other midfielders, obviously we want Bailey Smith and Max Holmes to be able to light up and play the way that they play. They want Ward and McKenzie, and then obviously their wingers with Amon and D'Ambrosio and that to be able to get that run and creativity, because for all the work Newcombe's doing, the most impressive thing that the Hawthorn have been able to do is to be able to turn their periods of dominance through the middle of the ground and those contests into immediate goals. Yeah. They took the crowd out of the game.
Yeah, they did.
From the first second on Friday night by their ability not just to win the ball but to kick goals.
Yeah, 3 CB goals, was it, in the first couple of minutes. There'll be a crowd either way at the MCG.
Yes, there will be.
Yeah, I back our mids in not to let the same thing happen again, and I'm sure we'll get to it. Our backline not to let Gunston just unopposed get the loose ball, or was it a handball, or was it whichever it was, and get them going.
This is the old cliche. You can't buy experience.
Yeah.
Seeing Jack Gunston move around in a final like he did on Friday night is just the brains and the experience of a player who is footy smart anyway, but knows to, if I just hold my lead a fraction of a second, I'll then end up in space. Or if I get this movement that's going to turn into that movement, I'm going to get the ball in the right. It was a masterclass of forward craft.
Yeah, his ability to create space and then tick up into it. It's the simple stuff, isn't it? Everyone does it at footy training, but your ability to do that in a final against opposition isn't easy. And he did. I know fans will say he kicked. How many did he kick on Easter Monday? Quite a few.
Producer Jakey's always got the answer to that one. We'll
I think Connor played on him. So Connor's a different player now. Jack Henry wasn't in the side. Stewie's back in form. So I was having some chats downstairs with my boss Sarah, head of comms. He kicked 3. There you go, Jake kicked 3 on Easter Monday.
Thank you, producer Jake.
And she was looking for some words with some reassurance about how we would negate all of their threats. And I was like, oh, good. And I think I went so far as to say, touching the table, name me a backliner who couldn't play on him. I was like, Jack will play on him, no worries. Stewie can take responsibility. Zach Guthrie will do it,
Yeah. Feels like it's Zach.
Connor's a different person. You think it feels like a Zach Guthrie?
Yeah, I think just for sheer football smarts as well.
Yeah, okay.
Closing speed, one-on-one ability.
Yeah, I thought it might be Jack because he's so often the anchor, so often that genuine full forward.
Deep. Yeah, it could be. And I think rolling between the two, those two communicate really well, would work. Jack might have to take a bigger matchup occasionally, whether it's Mitch Lewis, whether it's Marby or Chol, whoever it might be.
Good point, yeah.
Just rolling to the slightly bigger one. But you're right, that's the flexibility. And I think that's what they've added when we talk about the midfield and what Geelong has been able to add. Why are they back in the preliminary final? Why are they really well set up to perhaps launch into hopefully a grand final? Is yes, the midfield additions. Yes, the efficiency inside that forward line and Shannon Neal's ability to step into that. But I reckon go back 18 months, 2 years or so ago, where opposition clubs were putting in so much work in Tom Stewart. Got to stop Stewart. Stop Stewart. Do not let Stewart do the... Geelong now are quite comfortable whether it's Stewart rolling as the extra or, okay, no, they're rounding him up. Okay, he's then going to play one-on-one. It's Zach Guthrie as the extra, or it's Connor O'Sullivan as the extra. Or there's just a comfort level in multiple options to be the interceptor as opposed to the one-on-one player. So I think we can cover that. Obviously, the Cats then, we want to score goals ourselves. And when we look forward of the play... Jeremy Cameron always looms large for any game, especially a preliminary final, but the dangerous nature of our small forwards, Tyson, Brad Close, Sean Manor, Graham Myers, the high half forward, small forward type role, they become crucial because if the ball, Barras and Battle and Sicily aren't marking the ball because our keys can compete in the air, that ball lives on the ground and we have them swarming all over it, that could be a little advantage Cats.
No doubt. Who's the other one? Scrimshaw. People is that? Did you said him? He's having a great year. Good player. Barras has had. They've had an impressive last month, but I'm like, who's going to go to Jez? Okay, well then Jez can get up the ground. If it's Barras. I
would have thought Battle goes to Jez. I would have thought Barras goes to Neil. And then
does whoever's playing on Barras get up the ground more, or you just back yourself in deep?
I think you stay at home a little bit. Yeah. So again, Shannon, I think, would have learned a lot from his role he played on Harris Andrews in the qualifying final. He got to play it really similar. And it's going to be a 120-minute role. And early on, Barras might... Yeah, he might do you a couple of times and he might read it a little quicker than you. But then you just realise, no, I keep working away at it and force a mistake or two, or force a drop mark or a spoil when he could have marked.
Hit top speed and know that he cannot go near me. That's what I'd be thinking. But I think to your point about the small forwards, that's obviously our vulnerability in defence too, and therefore it comes back to the midfield, right? I feel like, the Hawthorn small forward brigade, we've got them covered. If we've got enough pressure on the ball and it comes in high and it can be an aerial game, I think we'll be all good. Same going in the other direction, as you've rightly described. If our high forwards can get up and race the ball back to goal, then we'll have a significant advantage. But it's won and lost in the midfield, hey?
Yes, it certainly is. And don't think that we're all anti-Hawthorn here. Before we head to a bit of a break, I do want to give a shout out to Luke Bruce. That was a horrific injury and not the way that he should have ended his career. He has been a brilliant footballer, a high-quality person. I'm just quickly Googling it now. I should have done this better, but I hope Wikipedia is up to date. 308 games, 553 goals, 3-time premiership player. He announced that he was retiring at the end of the year, but obviously wanted to finish his career off on a much better note than what happened. Hopefully he's all good, has the surgery, and but what a career to Luke Bruce. So congratulations on him, and I hope he's okay.
You would have played him? I was just checking. He debuted 2011?
I heard his debut was 2009.
Oh, okay. Therefore, you've definitely played him.
Yeah. Was that his first game?
Same
or
with Gunston?
Club? And Jack, yes, definitely played against Jack. Yeah, and you think of that when they won their 3 flags, just that dynamic forward line they had going on there. So, yeah, Luke Bruce deserved better than that. Sometimes don't quite get the fairy tale, but hopefully he's...
one of the best snappers in the game, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Could play and so strong for his size as well. Quickly before we take a break, and this relates to Friday night with the huge clash, and we want lots and lots of blue and white hoops there. I know the ticket allocations were exhausted.
Yep.
Let's make sure we get huge numbers there. I don't want to see too much brown and gold in the crowd at the MCG. And there is going to be the March to the G. It's on again. Be part of the mighty blue and white army as we storm the G ahead of this blockbuster clash against the Hawks. Departing from Fed Square at 6 p.m. So get there at 6 p.m. or a bit before. Join the march ahead of the game.
And speaking of those seeing the blue and white everywhere, Show Your Colours presented by Dulux. Paint the town blue and white this September and submit your photos and or videos showing your colours via our finals hub. And
I love this, Meg.
Yep.
Shout out. While we're all excited and pumped about footy, 2026 memberships are available for purchase now.
Yep. Get on, guys.
Well done, membership department.
Yep.
It's a good time to get them on sale. Head to membership.geelongcats.com.au to sign up now.
One point about the March to the G and the crowd. We were buzzing last week off the back of how vocal the crowd were and sort of unprecedented levels of anger in the Geelong faithful. Let's not have
two goals
conceded and let's not do that. But let's have the same result.
Yes, please. We're going to take a break and then we're going to look at the AFLW and we're going to get to your questions back soon. Winning a three-peat isn't easy, but at GMHBA Health Insurance, that's exactly what we've done. By winning the 2024 CanStar Outstanding Value Hospital cover in Victoria 3 years running.
GMHBA have been caring for the Geelong community since 1934 and are proud supporters of the mighty Geelong Cats. Join at gmhba.com.au.
Welcome back to the Final Bell. We are proudly presented by GMHBA, the official health insurance partner of the Geelong Cats. Meg, the AFLW, I know you want to be playing, but you continue to show incredible leadership and getting this team prepared and helping get the team ready to go as the good captain, the terrific captain that you are. A 30-point victory over Richmond and just felt like a really good, strong performance. It was an all-round performance, pretty complete. Scores on the board. The midfield really feels like it's clicking a bit now.
Yeah, no doubt. A great, complete performance by the gals. It was a stunning day. There was a bit of wind and maybe that contributes to, I can't remember what the number of behinds we kicked, but I know some...
8 goals, 11 we kicked.
Yeah, I feel like they were a bit dirty on some of those. Although it might have been 10 at half-time. And then we sort of got it through the big sticks. But no, there were highlights aplenty. Producer Jake was just talking about how great Jackie Parry is and has been playing. She's pretty fundamental to our success. She kicked 2 goals, 3 behinds, had 9 marks, which is crazy town. Michaela Bowen, 28 touches, 2 goals. So I think that's a sign of how we're going ahead of the ball and taking the ball forward with greater efficiency and getting, for those that aren't watching W as closely, Michaela Bowen's playing at half forward. So we speak a lot about the men's.
That high half
that
forward.
High half forward, get up, support the contest, beat them back. She's doing that superbly. What we've got here, Rankin, Gunjaka, fantastic in defence. Georgie Rankin. I mean, guys, listen to the pod, the backline kings on our what should we call it? Our sibling pod, our sister pod. Yeah. The girls, they've been unreal. But highlights were Emma Kilpatrick and Caitlin Thorne kicked their first AFLW goals. Lingy, mate, they kicked them from 50.
Nice. If you're going to kick your first, make sure they're good ones.
Yeah. So Emma Kilpatrick started in defence and then for the last couple of games has moved up onto the wing where she played her junior footy and she's got unbelievable speed. She hits 30 an hour regularly, which is pretty good in W. And Ashley Maloney spread the ground out, a beautiful kick to out to Killer, who was holding great width, and she broke the 50, kicked a goal for the first goal of the match, got the gals up and about, and then Thorny was trying to centre it, trying to put it top of the goal square, but just hit it too well. I said, what were you trying to do? She goes, I'd missed Lingy on a lead and I shouldn't have done this and I should have done that. So then I just thought, I better go long to the square. And
And it sailed
on through. I turned to the people I was watching with, the other players, and I said, it's one of those days where you feel it's a bit warmer and the ball is just flying.
Travelling through the air a little bit sweeter.
Beautifully travelling through the air. So, no, a great win and, finding a really good bit of form, which is tricky. It's tricky in the first couple of rounds when you play established, impressive teams to find your flow. But I feel like the girls have responded to a tough start and to finding rhythm.
And good news, I saw Nina got injured, but you are saying just a corky. Come on, Nina, walk it off. But a pretty nasty corky.
I'm saying that now, but at the time, it happened right in front of where we were sitting, and then she was getting the physio assessment and seeing if she could get back out there right in front of where we were sitting. And I was like, guys, there's 7 minutes to go and we're 30 points up.
It's
what
okay.
do we do?
Just
Just put her on all the ice.
Yep.
Put her on all the ice, which I hear is not what you do anymore.
No, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
I did my first aid refresher course yesterday. But then when it comes to sports management, injury management, I've heard the ice is a little different.
Insert disclaimer about no medical advice given on this pod,
No,
but
good call.
I think all bleeding is good in recovery.
Big in the repair process.
Yeah,
yes.
big in the repair process. So she'll be right.
Don't take our word for any medical advice on this podcast. The team looking to even the ledger and go hopefully 3-3 this Saturday at Alberton against Port Adelaide, 1:05 p.m. How's Port? What are we looking at
Well, tough. I haven't
similar
checked
spot
where
on
they
the ladder?
are. Are they similar spot on the
Yeah,
ladder? Okay,
2 wins
they beat the D's on the weekend, so
These have been in great form.
D's have been in great form. Your mate Kate Hall was unbelievable trying to get her team over the line.
Wow, and quick little background here. You and I chatted a lot of AFLW in the pre-season. I don't think I'm giving anything away when you just said to me, I said, Kate Hall looks like good and like a really good player, but is she that good? And you said, she's that good.
She's that good. She's that good. I think she had almost all their goals for a time being there and kicked 2 in the last to have them back in it. But Port are coached by a former Falcons teammate of mine, Lauren Arnell, and we love it when they do well. But they can just take a break from that this weekend.
Yes, they are happy with their 2-point victory over Melbourne, but let's hope it just flips a little bit the other way.
Right.
It is on their home deck again at Alberton. They played there last week, as I said, Saturday, 1:05 p.m.
The greatest challenge is going to be getting to sleep on Friday night, I think, for everyone watching.
Hopefully. Do we know selection yet? Or we just
no, we don't know.
Okay.
No, we don't.
Right.
We're going to make a case after this.
Good. I like that. Fantastic. The competitiveness. I love it. Absolutely love it. Well, hopefully they can continue on their winning ways. Let's get to a couple of questions, if we could, Meg. And this one is a great opportunity. We've been holding off. Don't worry, we hadn't forgotten about it. We just wanted to hold it for this first question. Huge congratulations to Stephen King, current assistant coach and, of course, former player, who's got the job as the head coach of the Melbourne Demons from next year. I loved the fact that as an industry, we are now mature enough to say, do you realise people are able to walk and chew gum at the same time?
Yeah, that's right.
So they can go through this process. They can be appointed. They can certainly have an eye on the future and what they're going to do with the Melbourne Footy Club. Yep. But they can also still be the assistant coach in a preliminary final and get back to work.
I think it's probably, it's easier to chew gum, I imagine, when we win a qualifying final. You just got that week to do what you need to do. But incredible news for Kingy. And the energy, he was in this morning when I was down in the footy department, and everyone's really, really stoked for him. The question, you can go off with a premiership. That'd be great.
The question here, what were some of his greatest strengths as a player or as a coach? I can talk, I suppose, from the player perspective, is I played under him both as captain, also just as a teammate. Yep. He was always brilliant at two things. He was one of the hardest trainers and most professional, and just would push himself to be the best he could be. So fit as a ruckman and had that mindset of just driven to improve. But then he could switch it off and become just a wonderful teammate to be around.
Love that.
Funny, great conversations, really great at bringing everyone in and that uniting force and building those relationships. I've never played under him with him being an assistant coach. You would see him a lot more around the club. I would imagine that naturalness of building the relationships at the same time as having that hyper-professional, hyper-competitive mode must be a great blend as a coach.
It would seem so. I obviously haven't been coached by him, but the conversations we have in the corridors or around the men's game, he's always very open. And it didn't surprise me that in his press conference and yesterday, whatever it was, and in getting the role, he spoke about that personality. I think people are, attracted to my energy, and I want to have fun, but as you've described, be ultra competitive at the same time. And that's what he's like. You catch him in the lunchroom and he'll go whooshka at what the boys did wrong on the weekend, but it's done in a way that's like really engaging and really frank. Yeah. So you're not sort of getting hung up on, what does he think? He just says it how it is and has fun getting on with it.
And I think it'll take time because he's going to have to start building relationships from scratch with these Melbourne players. But once he will put so much time into those relationships. Once they're built, those honest conversations flow a lot more. They are a lot more constructive. And at times, honestly, he can have you in stitches. Just a funny guy and as I said, a really good person to be around as well. So
I think that's the intangible in senior coaches. I think you have to have a personality.
Yes.
It's really important to be engaging in that way, and he has that in spades.
Yeah, and we don't often say, charisma is an attribute for a senior coach, but it is. You need it because these players just hear constantly from what you need to do. They're here big hours, professional, driven themselves. They want to be engaged and almost enjoying conversations some of the time, not just all, you got to do this at this stoppage and move here and do there and do that.
Engage. You want to be sort of there's a pull towards people like that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. So well done, Kingy. Yeah, I'm sure he will do a terrific job. High pressure job, being a senior coach of any footy club. It'll be interesting to see what he's like in 3 or 4 years' time, if he's turned into Grumpy Kingy.
That's true.
It eventually gets them at some stage. Jazza Lee wants to know, is anyone else's stomach turning at the thought of a Geelong versus Hawthorn preliminary final? Well, Jazz, yes, it is. 100% it is.
Jazz, I'm more pumped. I'm just like, let's go, let's beat them. Mine was turning at the qualifying final, but I'm in a confident space now.
Yeah, so I was chatting with producer Jake just before we came on air for this podcast, and the stakes are massive in a preliminary final regardless. You lose, you're done. You win, you're in a grand final. How cool. But when the stakes also mean that if you happen to lose, Hawthorn gets joy and happiness and are in a grand final, yes, that makes my stomach turn a little bit too, Jazz. I'm with you on that one. Jet has this question. Who brings the best energy to the club rooms or at trainings? Can you give us a little peek behind the curtain?
Behind the curtain.
What about, if while you're thinking of one from the men's program, what about AFLW? Who's the energy starter?
The energy starter, Julia Crockett-Grills is great on the energies. So I recommend jumping on and looking at her mic'd up from the game. She's great. I'm proud to say it's a shared endeavour, but Bella Smith's been really great on the tunes. But I'm going to go with Michaela Bowen at the moment. Okay. I think she's
happy with
she's
the
a
form
cool gal. She's happy with her form. She's loves her tunes, loves her music, loves her fashion. Has a label of her own. Like she is just killing it. She's an energy. She's obsessed with Lewis Hamilton. So if you can imagine her embodying that energy, that's what she's like.
Nice. Yeah. I like it. This is just an observation from afar. The off-field energy starter for years, I felt like was always like a Mark Blitzarves who just get around the boys and get them going and everything like that. Now he's one of the elder statesmen. Is he still as much of an energy starter, or is it more the younger guys who are like an Ollie Dempsey bubbling and... Yeah,
I reckon, Ollie's energy seems infectious. I can't speak entirely for the men's team. I reckon Shannon Neal's probably... Scratches a pretty good vibe.
The energy starter on the field for me feels like it's Sean Manor, but is he like that off the field, or is he still pretty quiet?
No, he's not quiet. He's lovely and engaging, but he's lovely. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like...
He's not one of those annoying, hyper-energetic people that I had to occasionally put up with.
No, it doesn't strike me that I wouldn't say that he's like that, but I mean, who's to say?
I do love when you think of the maturing process of former teammates of mine who one's just been appointed a senior coach and one was deep in that coaching process, who's a current assistant coach, used to wear number 9 for the Cats. Think of how, let's call it energetic. Some would call it annoying if they happen to be his captain or vice captain at any stage. How incredibly energetic they were for a period of time, and now they are so much more mature and
you're like, you're getting that job.
You're going to be one is going to be a coach, and the other one will be a senior coach one day. I suppose time does eventually make us mature a little bit. We get there. Charlie wants to know, what do you think the crowd split will be? Given this would be my breakdown at a guess. Across the MCC plus the AFL members would be ballpark plus corporates 20,000. I reckon then 80,000 is opened up to club. I'm guessing, looking for a nod from producer Jake. So 40,000 a piece would be available. I reckon out of Geelong Hawthorn, it's a 50-50 split, isn't it? And MCC members plus some corporate, like there'll be a big Geelong contingent. It's not like remember was it 2017 qualifying final, Geelong and Richmond, where it was technically our home qualifying final, but it felt like about a 75%, 25% split Richmond's way. I don't think it'll be that. I don't want it to be. Come on, Cats fans, get up the highway, please.
Cats fans. Just think about it. Just think about Ollie Dempsey breaking into space. Yes. Like, he's just out.
Poor Nicole has got our 3 boys at the game. I'm working on it for radio. She sat with them last year at the Brisbane Lions prelim, and it obviously ended, not just the way it ended with the team, but with the kids in a lot of tears and a lot of disappointment. She said if it goes that way again, she's never taking them to another game. So a lot on the line here, Meg.
On the line.
Hopefully we get a great split of Cats fans. Who do you think can bob up for a big game against the Hawks, Jeff? We might finish on this one, Meg.
Yep, let's finish on this one.
Who's your little X factor? You can't name Bailey Smith or Max Holmes or Jeremy Cameron
or OD.
Yeah, I want a little random X factor. That's a hard one.
Not random, but I think Tyson might be due. I think he's been excellent in his playing of his role, and as the whatever their expression is, but the wheel, it comes and goes with small forwards. I reckon it's
because he's been getting a bit, and just the radar's still a smidge off. But I like that.
Or Grind, one of those two.
Grind smarts will be important. I've got a real, just random one who I think continues to impress me the way he's built for finals. And I hope I'm not jinxing him by doing this. I think Jack Bowes.
Love this. Well, how much of a fan of Jack I am.
Yeah, multiple role Jack Bowes.
Yeah.
Just to seal certain things away in our favour. Does he go inside mid for 5 or 10 to give someone a little rest? Does he play on a wing and, D'Ambrosio or Amon, just pop them away? Is it Weddle who's on the wing, who's obviously his attribute is his marking? Well, Bowes is big enough to go with him. Does he just drift forward at the right time and pop one home from 50 on the run?
Don't mind it.
I just like the way Jack is built for finals.
All right, love that. Shout out. Yeah, no, I'll leave it there.
Okay.
Jack, I like all the Jacks to have a great game.
Okay.
I was going to say Martin could also.
Oh, yeah.
Jack
I didn't
Martin
even think of Jack Martin. That's a good call.
For the why we brought you. Not why, I mean, because you're a great player, but we'd like to really hammer it home with a little 4-goal performance.
Okay. I like the sound of that. We are positive. We are upbeat. We are very, very excited. As I know all of our listeners are, Meg. We will be back next week. Regardless, it's producer Jakey. Regardless, we will grit our teeth if need be. But hopefully we are celebrating and excited about the road into a grand final. Hopefully we are talking about another AFLW win. As I mentioned, taking on Port Adelaide on Saturday at Alberton at 1:05 p.m. And, of course, Friday night, the Cats and the Hawks in the prelim final. Meg, all the best for your week.
Thanks, Lingy.
Hopefully we see you out there on Saturday. But we'll be back next week. And as we always say, go Catters.
Go Catters. bless you.